Hey there, welcome back to the channel where we dive into real stories that hit you right in the gut, stories about regular folks standing up to absurdity, fighting for what's theirs, and coming out stronger. Today, I'm going to tell you about Ethan Caldwell, a guy who thought he'd found his slice of paradise in a rickety old farmhouse on the outskirts of Willow Creek, Ohio, only to get tangled in a mess with a power-hungry homeowners association that didn't even have a claim to his land. This one's got it all: deception, defiance, a touch of vandalism, and a whole lot of justice. So, grab a coffee, settle in, and let's get into it. Picture this: Ethan, mid-30s, a graphic designer who's had it with the noise and grind of Cleveland. He's been saving for years, dreaming of a place where he can breathe, maybe plant a garden, listen to the crickets instead of car horns. He finds it: a 120-year-old farmhouse on 7 acres of rolling land, complete with a sagging porch, a wildflower patch, and a barn that's seen better days but still has character. It's not perfect, but to Ethan, it's home, a middle finger to the cookie-cutter suburbs popping up nearby, like the shiny new Willow Grove estates just down the road. He moves in, unpacks his books, sets up a hammock, and thinks, "This is it. This is my peace." But peace? Yeah, that lasts about 2 weeks. One morning, Ethan's out on the porch, sipping his black coffee, when he grabs the mail and spots a crisp envelope that looks way too official for his liking. It's from the Willow Grove Estates HOA. He's puzzled. This place isn't part of their fancy gated community. The farmhouse was here when their cul-de-sacs were just cornfields. He rips it open, and his jaw hits the floor. The letter's got this smug tone, like it's scolding a kid. "Dear Mr. Caldwell, your property violates Willow Grove Estates community standards. Immediate action required. Repaint your house an approved eggshell white. Remove those tacky daisies in your garden. Replace your mailbox with our $600 model, and install a regulation fence. Estimated cost: $120,000. Noncompliance will result in $250 daily fines per violation and legal action." There's even a jab about his barn, suggesting it's an eyesore that might need demolishing. Attached are glossy photos of his property, with arrows pointing at his daisies, his chipped mailbox, and his fence that's been standing since the Civil War. Ethan's half laughing, half fuming. Who do these people think they are? He calls the number on the letter, expecting a quick fix, maybe a "whoops, wrong address." Instead, he gets Karen Whitmore, the HOA president, whose voice drips with that fake sweet condescension you'd hear from a bad sitcom villain. "Mr. Caldwell," she says, "all properties in Willow Grove's boundaries fall under our jurisdiction. Your house is on our map." Ethan's like, "Lady, my house was here before your McMansions were a twinkle in some developer's eye. Check your records." But Karen's not having it. "Our maps are clear," she snaps, "and you've got 30 days to comply, or the fines start piling up. Have a nice day." Click. Ethan's staring at his phone, torn between laughing at the absurdity and wanting to chuck it into the yard. This isn't a mistake, it's a power trip. Ethan's not one to roll over. He digs out his property deed, old surveys, tax records, the works, proving his land's never been part of Willow Grove. He sends copies to the HOA with a polite but firm letter. "My property's independent. Stop contacting me." He figures that'll end it. Nope. The letters keep coming, each one nastier, threatening lawsuits, liens, the works. Ethan's starting to feel like he's in a Kafka novel. One Saturday, he's had enough. He paints a big sign, plants it right by the road facing Willow Grove's entrance. "This land ain't Willow Grove HOA property. Trespassers will be dealt with." He steps back, admires it, and thinks that ought to shut him up. Spoiler: it doesn't. A few days later, he spots a black SUV creeping along his property line. 2 guys in Willow Grove security polos hop out, one with a tablet, the other with a measuring tape, like they're appraising his land for an estate sale. Ethan storms over. "What the hell are you doing?" The tablet guy smirks. "Compliance check, sir. We've got reports of violations." Ethan's blood is boiling. "This is private property. You've got no rights here. Get out, or I'm calling the sheriff." They scuttle back to their SUV, but that night, Ethan notices his mailbox, sturdy, hand-painted by his grandpa, has a fresh dent, like someone took a bat to it. Worse, his porch has random splotches of eggshell white paint, the exact shade of Willow Grove's houses. And his daisies? Uprooted, stomped into the dirt. This isn't just harassment anymore, it's vandalism. Things hit a boiling point one afternoon when 2 cop cars rolled up, lights flashing, followed by Karen Whitmore in a sleek Audi. her face smug as a cat with a canary. She's pointing at Ethan's house, yapping to the officers. There he is. This man is defying our regulations, ruining our community's aesthetic. Ethan steps onto the porch, heart pounding but voice steady. Officers, my land's not part of their HOA. I've sent them proof a dozen times. The lead cop, a guy with a tired look, says, Sir, their documents say otherwise. We need you to come with us for questioning. Ethan's stunned. Questioning? For what? Karen chimes in. For violating community standards. Those daisies, that hideous barn, it's a threat to our property values. Before he can argue, the cuffs come out. As they lead him to the cruiser, neighbors gawk, some nodding along with Karen. Ethan's humiliated but locks eyes with her. This ain't over, he says, low and firm. She just smirks. Should have followed the rules, Mr. Caldwell. That night, after a few hours at the station and no charges because, surprise, they've got nothing, Ethan's back home, livid but focused. He calls Sarah Gwynn, a local attorney who's taken down shady HOAs before. Over diner coffee, he spills everything. The letters, the vandalism, the arrest. Sarah's eyes narrow as she flips through his documents. This is straight-up fraud. If your records check out and they look solid, this HOA's got no leg to stand on. Let's hit him hard. Ethan nods, a spark of hope flickering. What's the plan? Sarah grins. We sue their pants off. Sarah moves fast. She files a complaint against the police for wrongful arrest and subpoenas Willow Grove's records. The results? Explosive. The cops admit they acted on doctored maps from Karen, who'd crudely photoshopped Ethan's property into Willow Grove's boundaries. The officers get slapped with reprimands, and the department issues a public apology. The HOA's records are even juicier. Karen's been faking documents for years, strong-arming board members, even pocketing processing fees for home upgrades that never hit the books. Her motive? Power, cash, and a weird vendetta against anyone who didn't bow to her vision of suburban perfection. Ethan's case blows the lid off her scheme. In court, Sarah's relentless, laying out Karen's fraud like a prosecutor in a mob trial. Witnesses, former board members, scared neighbors testify about her threats. The judge doesn't mess around. Karen's personally liable for hefty damages to Ethan, and the HOA's forced to apologize and overhaul its rules. Karen's ousted, her reputation trashed. Ethan's vindicated, but he's not done. He teams up with Tom Harper, a retired mechanic from Willow Grove who's been quietly collecting dirt on Karen for years. Together, they dig deeper, uncovering a goldmine of corruption, siphoned HOA fees funding Karen's spa days, fake fines to silence dissenters, more forged maps roping other properties into her empire. At the HOA's annual meeting, Ethan and Tom drop their bombshell. The room's packed, tension thick. Ethan holds up a spreadsheet of Karen's shady finances, his voice calm but cutting. This isn't an HOA, it's a racket. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Karen tries to bluster. This is slander, but Tom shuts her down. Sit down, Karen. We've got receipts. By the end, the residents vote her out unanimously. She storms off, face red, as the room erupts in cheers. Tom's named interim president, and Ethan's roped in as a consultant to keep the HOA honest. Months later, Ethan's hosting a barbecue on his land. Willow Grove folks, non-HOA neighbors, everyone's invited. Kids are running through the grass, burgers are sizzling, and for the first time, the community feels real. Ethan's flipping patties, chatting with Tom, who raises a beer. To fight the good fight. Ethan clinks his bottle. To new beginnings. But as he looks out at the crowd, a thought nags him. Karen's gone. But the system that let her thrive? That's still out there, waiting for the next control freak to game it. He wonders if the neighborhood's learned its lesson, or if they're just one bad board away from round 2. So, what do you think? Was Ethan right to go full-on warrior, or should he have tried playing nice? Have you ever dealt with an HOA or a bully like Karen? Drop a comment. Share your stories. I read every one. If this story got you fired up, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay real.